But this is the most powerful book of all. I mean, it is the Bible. You know, the Bible to me is the biggest motivation material on the planet. It has so many good things in it, man. And a lot of times when you're young, you don't take a look at it because you have a misconception about what it is. You know, I'm here today to talk to you about music, okay? And I guess my speech is called Music 101, but I want to add a little bit of all of it in there for you, all right? And because it's Sunday morning, I want to read a little bit out of this book and tell you what it means to me and how it relates to you and how it relates to music. Is that okay with you? Y'all with me so far? Okay. This is Matthew 25:14. And this is Jesus talking. He said, again, the kingdom of heaven can be illustrated by the story of a man going on a long trip. He called together his servants and entrusted the money, his money to them, while those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will be in abundance. You know why that? Because every time, especially when I speak to young people, they want to put the cart before the horse. You know, they always want more than what they have. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is that you can't get more until you begin to appreciate what you have. How do you get from point A to point B? The first thing you would have to do, and the first thing I didn't necessarily do this either, guys, so I understand. That's why I'm standing here trying to tell you what your options are and suggest to you some of the things that you could do to be better or successful in life. The first thing you have to do is appreciate your environment where you live. I guess one of the tragic things for me was I didn't appreciate my mom, man. I really took her to a grand meeting the other day. They said that, and this was, you know, I deal with a lot of dignitaries and school administrators and stuff like that, and they were talking, and they said that statistics show that if a kid can't read in the 3rd grade, 9 times out of 10, that kid's going to be in jail when he becomes a young adult. So now they're trying to decide how many jails to build based on 3rd grade education. Isn't that crazy? So you have to decide where you fit into that picture. Believe me, guys, that doesn't have to be reality, though. You know what I'm saying? I was a bad kid, but guess what? I'm here to tell you, try to give you some suggestions what don't work. I'm telling you to be appreciative to what you have and use the gift that God has given you. Now, you can ignore that, and you can wait like I did to 27 to wake up and say, oh my God, after my mom had died and nobody else would help me and I had no other resources. Now, you can wait. Because I guarantee you that will be your future if you don't do the necessary things. Does it have to be your future? No. Because guess what? Everything that one man can do, so can another. See, the question is not whether you can be T.I. or not. The question is, are you willing to do what T.I. did to get to where he is? Hey, this is what I'm trying to get you to see, guys, that there's a whole lot more than meets the eye. You know what I'm saying? See, in order to make T.I., it take a whole lot of people to make that possible. You know, let me tell you this story. The other day I was at Publix. And when I got out my truck going to the door, there was these 4 little kids walking. They were behind me, and I slowed down, and they caught up with me, right? And when we got to the door, they went in. They went around to the right. They started eating everything they could find. You know how they have displays of stuff you can eat in the grocery store? They started eating everything. They made their way all around to the fruit, started eating grapes, and, you know, and they just having a good time. Then they came all the way back around, and they got to the door, and they finally had what they came there for. They had $1 for them. They had $1. Then Publix was selling a big pack of cookies. You know them vanilla cookies for 89 cents. That's what they came for. Then when they got to the door, the first thing they did was look at the door. They looked at everybody. I'm paying attention, right? And they trying to see if they can get out the door without spending $1. You know? And then they realized they couldn't. So you know what he did? The biggest one, the ringleader of that whole little clique, he got loud. Man, y'all need some more lines open in here. Y'all got all these lines and these people in here. He got loud. So the manager got scared. I mean, I could see it on her face. And she was like, oh, baby, come here, baby. And she brought him to the line, and she opened the line for him. And he paid for his cookies, and they left. Who won that fight? He did. Is he coming back? Of course he is. But to me, she should have said, boy, shut up. Come here. Come here. I would have, if I was a manager, I would have got in line with him. I would have said, boy, come here. Grabbed him by the hand. Boy, didn't you know how to act when you come up in here? Why you all loud like that? And da-da-da. I would have stood there. I would have gave it to him all the way till he got to the line, paid for his stuff, and left. Guess what? He would have left with more respect for me. He would have left with more respect for the store. Because the reality of it is, he looked stupid. And I was embarrassed. You know how you, and especially black guys, I can't speak for white guys, but how you looking at you looking at the news and something done happen, and then they put boo-boo on TV. You ain't even there, and you feel responsible. You be like, oh, why they do that, dude? And you sitting in your living room by yourself like somebody can see you, right? You like, oh. You know? In other words, you know, what you do matters, man. It don't only matters to you, it matters to everybody. I'm not saying that you have to be responsible for other people. Be responsible for yourself. Have some dignity. Have some pride. Carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? See, guys, you got to be whole. You can't be a quarter of a man. You need to be a whole man. And guess what? You are men. And life has just begun for you. And if you feed yourself like you do now in a positive manner, your whole life, by the time you get to be my age, you will be unstoppable. See, let me tell you one of the worst things, and I think one of the bad things is, we do not understand that we can work within the system. We are constantly trying to beat the system. But if you master the system,